We are back with the top 10,000 overall rank chase series. I haven't uploaded for a while. I've been on holiday, went to Magic Round, but back now looking to get back into the swing of things, try and make some more content. So here we are, and I'll crack straight into it. So I think where I left off last time, I was ranked 72,000 at the end of round 7. And then at the end of round 8, so that happened when I was away. Yeah, because I remember Terrell May got 104 while I was driving home from somewhere in Australia. And so ended that week at 67k, so made 5,000 ranks there. 977, it was a pretty solid score, but obviously didn't pick the right captain. Had Toya's 24 in there. Yeah, I mean, it was okay. I bought in Scott Drinkwater. We'll go over who I've traded in while I've been away a bit later. But yeah, and then last week, 1,053 took us up to 62k. So still climbing, but slowly at a slower pace than before. Probably a little bit off par the score, probably 50 points short of what I would have liked. Once again, picked the wrong captain, should have just left it on Cleary. Still got Dewey in there, probably need to get rid of him, but unfortunately can't do that this week. And yeah, Preston was a standout performer as well, but he is now suspended, so that is great. So I have already activated my 3 trades for this week. So 62k, I'm hoping we can maybe climb into the top 50,000 this week, but it's actually going to be a really hard one. I've just seen the news that Corey Horsburgh is going to be out. He hasn't passed the HIA protocol, so he's going to be out, which is quite frustrating. It's going to leave me with basically 18 players this week because I'm going to be holding White and Watson as well, and then Horsburgh is going to be out. And yes, so I'm trading out 3 players here. Mamazales is injured, Preston is suspended. It's interesting, they've just changed that to a red dot just now, which is great. And then Tom Jenkins is on the bench for Penrith, and that usually means when there's utility on the bench for Penrith, they do not even come on the field, or they'll come on for the last 7 minutes of the game. But I will try and hold Jenkins up until the latest moment I can, maybe until, or I don't know, the Dogs play late, so actually I can probably wait to do Jenkins to Carraz right up until, oh no, the Dogs play here, Warriors play here, so I may have to make that decision at 7:30 on the Saturday, if I'm going to trade Jenkins or if I do trade Horsburgh, because there is a small possibility Jenkins could be a late inclusion into the starting side, but still, even if he was, I think he's pretty close to being a sell. Even though he did score a 70 last week, I think with their bye coming up next week, I'm pretty happy to move him on. He's made 150k. But yes, Mamazales is out for at least 3 weeks. It appears, there's been no confirmation on that, but it doesn't seem good considering they weren't able to put his elbow or shoulder back into place, whatever it was. And then Preston's obviously been suspended for 4 games, so that makes it 5 games with the bye. Really frustrating. And it does mean that I need a hooker just for this week. I do have Watson, and I am opting to hold him over someone. Well, I'm opting to hold him over Mamazales because I just think Watson, even though he hasn't been great this past sort of month, he's still going to be, I think he's going to be like a high 40s to low 50s average guy, and for this team overall rank, I think holding Watson's going to be absolutely fine. There's no standout options at hooker really, and I'm going to be bringing in Aaron Clark, who will rotate well with Watson, so I'll be able to have a hooker playing in all of the bye rounds. And yeah, I just think Aaron Clark, being a Warriors fan, obviously I watch him pretty closely, and I think he's been one of their best players, if not their best player. Just really solid, really consistent. He's sort of playing that Dylan Walker role, but he's starting instead of coming off the bench. And Walker always played pretty decent minutes for the Warriors when he was there. And yeah, I think he's just been a really important key to our team that's been getting us wins. And I think the past 3 weeks we've seen him play upwards of 60 minutes. And yes, that could be because James Fisher-Harris is out, but I just feel like, even when Fisher-Harris is back, I think Clark should be good for mid-50s minutes, and I think he can put up sort of low 50s points in that time. And, if there was better hooker options available, maybe I'd go for it. But, yeah, there's also Wade Egan, but with Healy hanging around on the bench, I just feel like Clark is probably a guy I like a little bit more, along with having the mid-duel, which is pretty handy if there was a week where I've got Watson and Clark, although Watson does have the mid-duel as well, so it actually doesn't even matter. But at this point in time, I'm liking Clark as my trade-in for a hooker. I'm liking Hamish Stewart. He's priced at 414k. I think he'll be getting 45 to 50 minutes a game, and I think he can put up, high 30s, low 40s scores and make that sort of 100 to 150k to be a nice cow through the bye rounds. I think it'll be pretty handy. I don't think any Dragons players or Dragons forwards are going to be playing Origin. Actually, Jaden Sewer may do, but he obviously is an edge and Stewart is a middle. But I do see value in Hamish Stewart. He's starting, he's young. It seems like he's won the role on merit rather than injury. And then talking about injuries, Emre Gula is out for another 3 to 4 weeks, I believe. So that only helps his case. The Dragons have a debutant on their bench, so you'd assume he doesn't get very many minutes. And it just seems like DeBellin doesn't sort of command the minutes that he used to. So, yeah, I'm pretty keen on Hamish Stewart. The other option here would be Jazz Tavanga. But I'm just sceptical over returning injured Manly players. You've got Aloye, you've got potentially Lachlan Croker. I'm not too sure how far away he is, but I think he's close. And Sipley as well, but I don't know if Sipley's in their best 17. But yeah, I don't know. Tavanga just feels like he doesn't have too much upside, although I may be looking at getting him in my other team. I like Stewart more just because he's a young up-and-coming player and just has the youth on his side. And then there's Carraz, who I kind of wish I already owned, but I'm just wanting to bolster my centre wing fullback sort of cover here so I can start Carraz and maybe not start Brimson or Tamale, although Tamale has been really good this past month. But Carraz, I've been watching the Dogs games pretty closely as well, and his offloading is a really big point of difference among all players. Like, he's probably one of the top offloading players in the game, and you combine that with a strong base of run meters, and you're in a top team where you're probably going to get a decent amount of tries or try assists. I really like him even at this really expensive price. I like him as a keeper, the dual position, and also with the mind of overall rank. The Dogs only have buys in round 13 and 16, which are minor buys where I'm only going to need 13 players starting. And so basically I'll have Carraz for the rest of the season is my hope. But yeah, those are the trades. If we look at my trades from 2 weeks ago, I did Stafford Toa and Jaden Campbell to Sharp and Drinkwater. Pretty happy with those, actually really happy with those. Sharp and Drinkwater have been excellent, and I hopefully I can keep them in my team for as long as possible. And I doubt either of them are going to be playing Origin. Wish I did hold on to Campbell, but by all means, we thought that he'd be out for 45 weeks, and he's back after 3. So it's a tough one to take, but it is what it is. Stafford Toa out. I'm pretty pleased with that one. He obviously got injured, but I traded him out before that, and yeah, no worries there. He made his money. Pretty pleased with that. And then last week, I traded out Shibasaki, who scored 50-something, and Toya, who scored 96. So that was fun. But I got in Dylan Lucas and the King Togia. The idea of trading out two cash cows that have made their money into a gun and a new cash cow, I think the process was correct, but it was maybe just a week early. But I honestly can't be mad about it. I think I would have had Toya in my emergencies and possibly not been able to loop him in, so that's okay. Dylan Lucas he's looking like he's going to be the top scoring centre, so I'm really pleased to own him. He's just going to be around that 700k mark, so I don't really think there would have been a better time to jump on than last week. And then King Togia started off with a 47. He's making money, and it's great. So yeah, it wasn't ideal trading out two high scoring players, but I think Toya's now on a bye, and Shibasaki week to week I'm not really that confident in playing him, so that'll be all sweet. I'll forget about that sooner or later. It'll be fine. In terms of captaincy this week, it's really tough because as soon as May got that 104, I said, well, if May's going to be... And then a story came out saying May was saying why, or questioning why he got taken off for 5 minutes. He wasn't happy about it. He just wants to play the whole game. So honestly, I thought I'd just leave the captaincy on May from here on out. If he's commanding those minutes, if he's getting upset about getting taken off, I just feel like he's the guy that you just got to leave the captaincy on. He's got like a floor of 65. But then Haas and Cleary come out and outscore him by 20 and 30 points. Cleary did get a try. Haas just went berserk. They were obviously losing to Penrith, and they just left him out there trying to chase them down, and they just couldn't, but he just got left out there. But against Souths, it could be a different story. They could just blow them off the park and Haas gets a bit of a rest, but I could be completely wrong about that. And then Cleary's playing the Cowboys away. It's very tempting to move it to both of these guys, especially where May is playing the Storm in Melbourne. But for the time being, I've still got a couple of hours to decide. I think I'm going to leave it on May, just for the fact that, you can almost guarantee he's going to play 70 minutes plus. The only concern is that Melbourne blow them off the park pretty early. But I don't know. I feel like the Tigers have been pretty decent, and I think they can bring it up with Storm, not get too smashed up in the first half. But yeah, I mean they've had a few big games recently, so they could be pretty tired from that. So I've got a bit to think about there. And then so I've only got Katoga playing, so I'll probably just stick him here, and then if he goes 30, 35 or more, I will take out either Hubner or King Togia. I think that's probably what I'll do. And so looking pretty bleak. I'm going to have to start a few of my lower scoring players. I've still got Brimson, who I probably want to get rid of soon. Tamale's been good. I definitely want to hold him as long as I can. And then Dewey's another guy I think I want to get rid of pretty soon. But apart from that, Seyfarth's been good after a few bad games. And Hubner is probably just going to plateau his price. So he's a guy I can sell when at my leisure, I would say. But getting pretty low in trades for a team that started a week late, but that's all right. I think I'll leave it at that. And good luck for round 10, and I'll catch you in the next one.